excited to be here today, and together I hope we will have lots of fun, get our bodies moving, get some blood flowing, and just feel good. So let's jump right in. We're gonna jump right in by full arm circles. This is very often how I like to start my workouts, just because it's a kind of common movement that we all know, kind of comfortable doing it. Stretches out the shoulders, gives us some movement in our upper back, in our shoulders. And here we're gonna do some full arm circles. That's it. I'm really trying to increase my range of motion as much as I can. And from here, I'm going to reverse. So I'm facing my hands up and going back. And I'm really trying to open up my chest when I do this. When you bring your arms back, you'll feel like your chest is, your like upper chest, right beneath your shoulders is really stretching out. And from here, I'm gonna bring my hands up and rest them on my knees. When I'm resting them on my knees, I'm gonna round my back and flatten it, kind of curve it in. So I'm doing almost like a cat-cow move right here, rounding it in and curving it up. This should feel pretty nice, almost like a little bit like a massage. And from here, I'm gonna come down, roll it up, vertebrae after vertebrae, really trying not to bring pressure onto my spine. I'm gonna restabilize, feel myself on the ground, find my place on my mat. And from here, we're gonna be lifting our arms up and twisting over to the left-hand side. And from here, both hands up and bring it over to the opposite side. And again, lifting up and twisting over. And up and over opposite side. From here, I'm gonna come to the head of my mat. I'm gonna curve my spine. So I'm bringing my shoulders in towards one another, letting my hands kind of droopity droop down to the ground. And really slowly, I'm tucking my chin into my chest. And really slowly, I'm going to be curving down, vertebrae after vertebrae, until I find that space where I'm just kind of hanging out. From here, I'm gonna walk my hands a little bit forward, creating a downward facing dog. And I'm going to be pedaling my knees. Bringing one heel down as the opposite heel lifts. So one up, one down. One up, one down. Not forgetting to breathe here. That is a very important part of life in general. And just staying right here, really pressing into the mat and bringing my head and chest in. Trying to reach into my knees. I'm obviously not going to be reaching my knees, but I'm bringing my head and chest in towards my feet. And from here, I'm going to slowly, ever so slowly, bend my knees, walk my hands back, curve my spine, and slowly roll it up, coming back to a standing position. Take a big deep breath here. Find your grounding. And I'm going to stand with my feet just about hip width apart, getting comfortable. And I'm going to be lifting my hands up as I rise onto my toes and come down. So again, I'm lifting and rising and coming down. And lifting and coming down. That's it. Exhale as I lift. Inhale as I lower. Up and lower. And rise up and lower. That's it. Just two more here. Stay with me. You're doing a great job today. And coming back to that center point. From here, I'm going to be bringing both hands in front of me, and I'm going to be opening up one arm while twisting back with it. So I'm Opening and looking back at that arm, bringing it back to center. Opposite arm. Opening and back to center. And we're gonna stay right here for a bit. And open. Two more here. One. That's it. Two. And release the hands. We're going to be moving on to some balance exercises, which should be fun. This is a fun part. I'm going to be leaning onto, I'll start with my left foot. I'm leaning onto my left foot. My right foot comes into my ankle. So the arch of my right foot meets the ankle of my left foot. My hands are on my hips right now. Both feet are still on the floor. So my toes are still on the floor. And my toes on my right foot and my whole left foot. I'm really leaning into that left foot. So I'm imagining right now that there's a pole from the top of my head, through my shoulders, through my leg, down to my heel, straight into the ground. Okay, so that whole side of me is straight up a pole. That's giving me my support. And with that pole, I'm gonna be lifting and lowering that right leg. Just lift and lower for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Wiggle out that left ankle. Kind of just give it a little wiggly. And we're going to be leaning onto the right foot, doing the exact same thing, opposite side. So again, the left foot, the arch of the left foot now is in the ankle of the right foot. And I'm really leaning onto that right foot. You can see that my body is actually leaning to the right or the left if it's a reflection. But we are leaning onto that foot. I'm imagining that pole that's coming straight through my head, down through my kind of center of my body, through my hip, straight into my leg, and there's that pole that's anchoring us into the ground, and I'm going to be lifting for 5, 4, 3, 2, very light taps on the ground, and 1, wiggle out that right ankle. Well done, I hope you're feeling good and strong today. I'm happy you're here. And one last balancing exercise we're going to be doing is I'm going to start on my, leaning onto my left foot, and I'm just going to be pumping my right foot back. So you can lean onto a wall, hold onto a wall if you need, that's totally fine. That doesn't say anything about anything. The wall may help us with support, and that's awesome. So I'm gonna keep my hand on the wall here, right here for now. If it's easy, you can let go of the wall, also really cool. And I'm leaning onto my left foot and just really lifting up that right foot, kicking it up. For 4, 3, 2, 1, and switching feet. And opposite foot. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Release both of those feet. Wiggle them out. And let's do some tightrope walking. I really like to incorporate this in all of my workouts just because it's such a great skill. And winter's coming where I am now. It's always great to feel more steady on the ground when there's ice all around. So this can really help strengthen our ankles, and I just love this. So tightrope walking, for those of you who are new here, is basically heel toeing, heel toeing. So I'm heel toeing. In the beginning, I may have to look down at my feet, which is totally fine. When I start feeling more stable, I might start looking up. And I'm looking straight, trying not to look at my toes. If you want, you can definitely put your hands out. That'll help with the stability. And when I'm feeling really stable, for those of us that are just naturally that way or not, which is totally fine, I can even close my eyes and heel toe, heel toe. So those are kind of levels that we can be leveling up this exercise. Everyone should be doing what feels right and comfortable for them. Oh, I lost my balance there.
can put your hands out, I generally do. Kind of like I'm actually walking on a tightrope. And I'm heel-toeing, and let us meet in the middle of the mat. Well done. We're gonna bring up the heart rate a bit before we bring it down to the mat and work on some floor work, some core, and all that goodness. So we're gonna just start by bringing the heart rate up and bringing up the heat. I'm gonna start with my hands on my hips, and honestly, I'm just lifting and crossing over. So I'm bringing my right knee to the left side, left knee to the right side, bringing my whole body with it. So I'm facing the opposite wall as I do this. That's it, yes. And if I want, I can really bring the speed up. But again, everyone should be doing what feels comfortable and right for them. I'm not looking for us to jump into something that doesn't feel right just because that's what the video says. Listen to your bodies, listen to what they tell you. And for those of us that are feeling really energetic today, I can just do up, 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 right? And I can really bring that up. Woo! Feeling the heat. And kind of just jogging in place, bringing that down a little bit. We're gonna be doing the same exact thing, kicking in the back, and back, and back. Again, I can bring up the speed, do it on double time, or we can jump it out. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. I am going to grab myself a quick water break because that definitely brought the heat up around here. And I will meet you down on the mat. So I'm going to start in this position. We're sitting on the mat. I'm sitting on the mat, and if I can, I'm gonna release my hands and come on right back up. Again, I'm gonna give us about another 10 to 15 seconds just to settle down because I see that I'm not really settled. So I can imagine that we might all need another 10, 15 seconds just to find ourselves in the mat. Make yourself at home, come on down, meet me here, grab a drink of water, and we will be starting in about 5 more seconds. So let's find our grounding. And here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna be grounding onto the back of my thighs. And if I can, I'm gonna release them, come up and back, and up and back. Bring it up and really round it back. Just like that. Up and back. And here, I'm just gonna hold right here. If this starts to hurt your back, feel free to just lean down. Put your hands down on the floor, that's totally fine. If you want to level it up, you can bring your hands not touching the floor. Everyone do what feels right for you. I'm actually gonna be putting my hands down on the floor for now. What I'm gonna be doing is lifting one leg and the opposite. Right leg, left leg, right. I want you to take note what your shoulders are doing. I just happen to have noticed that my shoulders are kind of letting my head sink in, kind of like scooping in. I want you to really just push that back up. Make sure that your shoulders aren't flooping in. That's it. If this still is uncomfortable for your back, you are more than welcome to bring it all the way down to the mat. That is another very valid option, and you can go up and down. Okay? So I'm going to be bringing it back up, and this would be the advanced version. This would be kind of another option. And 3, 2, 1, for those of us that are still sitting, let's come on all the way down to the mat. Find your grounding, find your kind of space on the mat, wherever's comfortable for you. And from here, I'm gonna be bringing my knees up to a 90-90 position. That's a 90-90 position. Awesome. And I'm bringing my arms up to the sky. Now, I'm gonna be bringing my toes and my arms down together and up together. Down and up. Down and up. Down and up. If this is feeling really too stressful, you can just do one foot at a time. Up. More than welcome to rest that opposite foot. I'm going to be doing both feet. If you are doing one foot, I would say switch in about now, and that opposite foot up and down. And down. That's it. That's it. Staying right here for one more. In and hug those knees. Kind of do a little rolly thing on the ground. Nice little massage for your back. From here, I'm going to interlace my arms behind my head, bringing them to the line of my ears, and my thumbs right here. As my arms are kind of interlaced, my thumbs right here are going to be supporting my neck. So my head is heavy in my neck, and my thumbs are supporting it, and I'm lying down on the floor. From here, what I'm seeking is to lift my chin up to the ceiling. And now what this should feel like is like almost you're about to cough. It's like a, So I want my ribs clenching into one another, and I'm lifting up and down. I want my chest lifting up and down. And I want to remind you to engage your core. We very often, exhaling as I lift, we very often forget to engage our core. I want to engage my core, which means that when I lift, I'm creating that contraction that almost feels like I'm about to cough. So it would be like a and down and a Obviously, I don't want you coughing. I mean, not obviously, that's fine if that helps. And two more here. And one, and bring that down. Hands over to the sides of your body. From here, I'm going to do a couple of pelvic rolls just to kind of wake up my pelvis, let it know we're about to do some work. And from here, I'm going to flatten my back against the floor and slowly lift my hips up until my shoulder blades. Exhale and release it down slowly, slowly, slowly. I kind of like to use the metaphor of imagine your vertebrae were like a string of pearls. So you're really rolling them down and up, one pearl at a time. Truly, our vertebrae are like pearls, by the way. Like they really are. Every single vertebrae is an amazing entity in and of itself, and together they create an amazing spine that we have. So that's just a little ramble for me. And lifting up and coming down. And we're just gonna really kind of go into this flowy motion. So I'm staying in movement the entire time. And I'm really just going up and down. I'm lifting up until my shoulder blades, coming down vertebrae after vertebrae. The last thing I'm going to do is release my hips, create that kind of gap in my back, and then again, I flatten that gap, lift my lower back, middle back, upper back, lift as high as I can, and slowly melt it down. Excellent. And lift, and lower, and one more here, and lifting. Well done. And from here, I'm going to be, again, bringing my legs to that 90-90 position. And this time, I'm going to be doing a bicycle movement. But I will be keeping my head and neck on the ground. I do not want to be straining my head and my neck. And I'm actually not lifting my core. So I'm just doing the bicycle motion. Without adding in any elbows, just pedaling. That's it. And we'll do this for 4 more. 3. That's it. Breathing. 1, and bring it down. From your last movement on our backs, I'm going to lift my hands up overhead, and I'm going to be crossing my right hand over my left knee. So that's going to look like that. Right hand over left knee for 5,
core, really creating that twist. 2, exhale as I lift. 1, and switching sides. And 2 more here. And stretch out the arms and the legs. Long, long, long. Full long body. And let's roll over onto all fours. On all fours, I'm just gonna do a little cat-cow. So what that means is I'm gonna arch my back up to the ceiling, tuck my chin into my chest, really push my shoulders away from my ears, creating space in between my shoulder blades. And from here, I'm going to exhale, drop my belly down, kind of widen my little tailbone up, and lift my head, pressing up through my shoulders. I don't want any head stooping into the shoulders. Push it up, and again, rounding in. Head comes into chest, tummy rounds up, back tries to reach the ceiling, and coming to a neutral spine. From here, we're gonna do what I call a plank on all fours, which is kind of like a plank on 6, with my knees down. So I'm gonna be bringing my arms down to my elbow, but I am creating like a wide, like I'm not upright and really moving my body forward, but I'm keeping my elbows underneath my shoulders. And I'm just gonna hold here for about 15 seconds before I add in the next movement. We'll just hold right here. I want you to keep breathing through this movement. You might start feeling your core is waking up. If you want, you can cross your toes. I just did that over there. And we'll hold here for 3, 2, 1. What we're gonna be doing from here is pushing up and coming down onto our elbows. Coming up onto our hands and down slowly onto our elbows. To make this easier, you can bring your knees closer in. To make this more challenging, you can bring your knees further out. And 3, 2, last one here. Really hold it up and slowly, slowly melt on down to Cobra. Bringing that up, push through the shoulders. Don't let your back arch and sag. Really push through the shoulders and slowly melt on down. You have made it to the cool down. Congratulations. And from here, I rolled onto my back. And I'm gonna start my cool down just by hugging my knees, rolling on my back, thanking my wonderful body for all the amazing things it does for me and for just being a body and doing what bodies do. You can just be grateful that it works and it's functioning today. Right now, it allows us to move in whatever way or capacity we can move. Just rolling and breathing, having a nice time. From here, I'm gonna hug in my right knee, let my left leg strong. And I'm gonna switch legs. From here, I'm gonna take my right hand over my left knee and bring it all the way over, cross it over, and my hands spread up to the sides as my head looks in the opposite direction. You should feel a nice twist in the lower back. And from here, I'm gonna come back and do that to the opposite leg. Left hand over right knee, twist it over, hands come out to the sides, head looks in the opposite direction. From here, I'm gonna roll to the center. Slowly, slowly, I'm rolling onto my side first, pushing myself up, ever so slowly and comfortably, finding my center in my mat, wherever is comfortable for me. Fix myself up a little, my shirt got all. Okay, we'll start with a little butterfly pose, so heel to heel, and heel
heel to heel, and kind of just rock from side to side. If your knees are kind of like that, we might try to give them a little bit of a push, but we can also just rock side to side if that's comfortable and fun for us. More than fine. From here, I'm gonna reach my hands up forward. I should feel a nice stretch in the kind of, what is it? Like in the inner thigh area. And from here, I will come up to straight position. Spread my legs out. It doesn't have to be, it's however's comfortable for you. Both hands come to right leg. Both hands go over right leg. So I'm really creating a twist in my back. I'm pushing a little bit. I'm creating like a counter force with my right hand. And I'm really pushing my shoulder up. So I'm creating a little bit of a twist in that opposite side of the lower back. And reaching both hands to the left foot. Placing both hands outside of my left foot. With my left hand, I'm pushing into the ground. My right hand is kind of pretty loose. My left hand is pushing into the ground, straightening my shoulder, and kind of creating a little bit of a counter force. So I'm pushing with my left hand, I'm pushing forward a little bit. Kind of pushing into the ground and trying to slide it forward, but it's not actually sliding. And looking over the shoulder, coming to center. You can sit however is comfortable for you. This may mean coming to sit up against a wall, just leaning against the wall. Right here, we're just gonna take a couple of deep breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, however is comfortable for you. To be honest, you can also inhale however is comfortable for you. Trust that your body knows how to breathe. I don't need to teach you how to do that. And again, just take a deep breath, however you find most comfortable. And with this, I will lift my hands up overhead. Big full body stretch, straight back. I kind of let my back not rest against the wall. I sat up straight. And palm faces palm, hands come down through the center. And I'm just so grateful that you are here today doing what you believe is best for you. And I'm so happy to be part of your journey and part of your life just for today, whatever it is. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you another time.